Okay, so now let us talk about the next physical property, that is the effect on the skin. Effect on the skin. Effect on the skin. Effect on the skin. So you know that acids, mineral acids, mineral acids are corrosive in nature, are corrosive in nature. So they, if you put these acids, mineral acids include sulfuric acid, nitric acid, nitrous acid, sulfurous acid. These all acids are corrosive in nature. They are mineral acids. Okay, so they will corrode your skin. They will harm your skin. They will give you painful burns. They will give you a hard time. Whereas if you take organic acids, or carbonic acid, although carbonic acid contains carbon, but it is an inorganic acid. Okay, so organic acids, including the carbonic acid, they are not corrosive in nature. They don't harm our skin. Okay, so they are not harmful in comparison to the mineral acids. Now let us talk about the effect of the indicators upon them. Okay, the effect of the indicators, on these acids. You know that indicators are complex chemical substances, which show a variation in the color when acids and bases come in contact to them. Okay, so they indicate acids and bases somehow by a variation of, by the alteration in their color. Okay? Indicators. So there are many indicators. Indicators are basically the indicators which we use in the lab. It's litmus paper or liquid, methyl orange, phenolphthalein. These are the most common indicators available in the chemistry lab. So what happens? Litmus changes blue to red when an acid comes in contact to these indicators. What happens? Blue colored litmus paper or liquid will change into red. Methyl orange will change from its orange color to pink. That will indicate that solution or that thing is an acid. And phenolphthalein will remain colorless. It will remain colorless. So we are talking about acid, physical properties of acids. That's why we are discussing about the effect of indicators on acids. So when acid comes in contact to litmus, the blue color changes into red. When it comes in contact to methyl orange color changes into pink. When it comes in contact to phenolphthalein, it remains colorless. This is the effect on the indicators which we use in the lab. Now let us talk about some interesting facts about some natural indicators. So natural indicators include, now some litmus indicator is a natural coloring matter. From where you get litmus? Let us talk about some facts. Litmus, we get litmus from certain lichens. Now what are lichens? Lichens are very small plants, flowerless. They are flowerless. They don't have flower. Very small plants that grow on rocks. So we dissolve these lichens into water and we get this complex chemical naturally litmus. And you know what is the use of litmus? To identify, to detect a solution, a thing, a substance to be acidic or basic. Now another natural litmus, natural indicator is the red cabbage. Is the red cabbage, red cabbage extract. It's a natural indicator. Red cabbage extract is extracted from cabbage. Cabbage, you know, it's a vegetable. Okay, so it remains red in the acidic solution but turns green in the basic solution. So this red cabbage extract, which is extracted from the cabbage, when it comes in contact to an acid, it remains red. It remains red. But when it turns green, that indicates that the solution or the thing or the substance which you are contacting with red cabbage is basic. Okay, so if it remains red as it is, it's acidic. If it changes its color to green, that's basic. Now another type of indicators is the olfactory indicators. Olfactory indicators. If you are fond of biology, then you know what olfactory means. Olfactory is related to smell sensations. Smelling senses. Okay, smell. So that means these indicators indicate a particular substance, thing, to be an acid or base by the virtue of its smell. Okay, whether there is a variation or it remains same, the smell remains same. Okay, how to indicate? It uses this concept, the smell concept, to identify a particular substance to be an acid or a base. Let us try to understand what do we mean by this with an example. The most common examples of olfactory indicators is onions, clove oil. Okay, these are the most common examples of olfactory indicators. What happens when a basic solution is brought near or comes in contact to onion extract or clove oil? Okay, so when you mix or when you add the onion extract or onion to the acidic solution or the basic solution, or the clove oil to the acidic solution or the basic solution, there is a variation in the smell. And and there is a concept to identify that particular solution to be an acid or base. How? You know that onion has a peculiar smell. You know that. What is that smell? It's very detestable. Some of us hate that. Okay. So when a basic solution like sodium hydroxide, let us take an example of sodium hydroxide, is added or comes in contact to this onion or onion extract, what happens? The onion smell cannot be detected. Okay, when the basic solution like sodium hydroxide is added to the onion or onion extract, the onion smell is not detected. So when the onion smell is not you are not able to detect the onion smell by mixing it to a solution, that means that is a basic solution. And if you are able to identify the smell is not changing, is not varying, that means that solution is an acidic solution. So this is how olfactory indicators work. Okay, hope you understood the effect of indicators on acids. Now the last point under the physical properties is that they are electrolytes and good conductor of electricity. Definitely acids are electrolytes. They are electrolytes, and you know what electrolytes means. That is, they can be broken into their constituent ions, like HCl can be broken into H plus and Cl minus. Okay, H2SO4 can be broken into 2H plus SO4 2 minus. So they can be broken into their constituent ions, particles, and they can conduct electricity. So they are electrolytes. Hope you understood.